Today I am going to demonstrate three simple experiments that explain the three modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, convection and radiation. So heat transfer plays an important role in pharmaceutical manufacturing, drying, sterilization, formulation development, storage and transportation of medicines. So heat always flows from a region of higher temperature to the region of lower temperature here. So the three modes of heat transfer are conduction, convection and radiation are needed to be studied. So let us study each one through simple home-based experiments. So first experiment is the heat transfer by conduction. So what is the aim of this experiment is to demonstrate the heat transfer through the direct contact and compare the thermal conductivity of the different materials here. So what are the materials required are metal spoon, wooden spoon, plastic spoon and a cup or a glass containing hot water. Principle: conduction is the transfer of the heat through the direct contact between the particles. So when one end of an object is heated, the heat energy is transferred to the neighboring particles without movement of the material itself. So metals are the good conductors because they contain the free electrons that transfer the heat rapidly. So wood and plastic are poor conductors and act as an insulators. Procedure: first take a cup containing hot water. Place the metal spoon, wooden spoon and the plastic spoon into the hot water simultaneously. Ensure that the handles remains outside the water. Allow the spoons to remain in the hot water for about 3 minutes. So carefully touch the handles and compare their temperatures. Observation: the metal spoon becomes hot very quickly. The wooden spoon becomes slightly warm. The plastic spoon remains comparatively cool. Result: heat is transferred rapidly through the metal spoon. Therefore, metal is a good conductor of heat. So wood and plastic are poor conductors. So in metals, free electrons move freely and carry the thermal energy from hot end to the cold end. So because of this efficient energy transfer, metals are widely used in the pharmaceutical equipment such as dryers, sterilizers, heat exchangers, manufacturing vessels. The rate of conduction depends on the temperature difference, thickness of material, surface area and the thermal conductivity here. So what are the pharmaceutical applications of this experiment means? Ointment preparation, suppository manufacturing, heat exchangers, drying equipments, sterilization units. This experiment demonstrates the heat transfer by conduction where the heat moves through the direct contact from the hot water to the spoon. And the next experiment is heat transfer by convection. The main aim of this experiment is to demonstrate the heat transfer through the movement of liquid. Materials required: transparent glass, hot water, food colors and dropper. Principle: so what is the principle involved in this experiment means convection is the transfer of the heat through the movement of liquids or gases. So when a water is heated, it expands and becomes less dense. So the warmer water rises upwards. So cooler water begin denser, moves downwards. So this continuous circulation forms the convection currents. So that is the principle involved in this. Fill a transparent glass with a hot water first. Allow the water to become Still, using a dropper, place one drop of the food color near the bottom of the glass. Do not stir the water. Now observe the movement of the color. Observation. The colored water rises upward. The color spreads throughout the glass here, and the circular movement can be observed clearly. So what's the result means? The movement of the colored water indicates the convection currents. So heat is transferred through the movement of the water molecules here. So when a water absorbs heat, its density decreases. So the lighter warm water rises upwards here. So at the same time, the colder water sinks downwards. So this creates a continuous circulation pattern. So convection is responsible for ocean currents, air circulation, heating systems. So in pharmaceutical industries, convection is important because liquids are frequently heated and mixed. In case of syrup preparations, liquid formulations, mixing tanks, reactor vessels, heating of the pharmaceutical solutions, in all these conditions we are observing the convection here. So this experiment proves that the heat can be transferred through convection currents formed by the movement of the liquid here. And the next experiment is heat transfer by radiation. The main aim of this experiment is to demonstrate the heat transfer through radiation using a black and a white surfaces. So what are the materials required means? 2 identical glasses, a black paper, white paper, water and sunlight. Principle. Radiation is the transfer of the heat through the electromagnetic waves. Unlike conduction and convection, radiation does not require a media. Heat from the sun reaches the earth through radiation. Black surfaces absorb more radiant energy. White surfaces reflect more radiant energy. So that is the principle involved in this. What's the procedure means? Wrap one glass with black paper. Wrap another glass with white paper. Fill both glasses with equal amounts of water. So place both glasses in direct sunlight for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now compare the temperature of water in both glasses. Observation. The black covered glass becomes warmer and the white covered glass remains comparatively cooler. What's the result means? The black surface absorbs more radiant heat energy than the white surface. So radiation occurs through electromagnetic waves, mainly infrared radiation. So the dark colored objects absorb the most of the incoming radiation and convert it into heat here. So the light colored objects reflects most of the radiation. So this explains why black clothing feels hotter in the sunlight. So in pharmaceutical industries, radiation affects the drug stability, packing designs, storage conditions, transportation systems. So pharmaceutical applications of this experiment means packaging of the medicines, storage of vaccines, protection of the light sensitive drugs, temperature control, transportation systems. So what's the conclusion means? This experiment demonstrates the heat transfer by radiation. The black surface absorbs more radiant energy or heat here, whereas white surfaces reflects the more heat. So that's the conclusion. So the 3 experiments successfully demonstrate the 3 modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, heat transfer through the direct contact, convection, heat transfer through the movement of the fluids, and radiation, the heat transfer through electromagnetic waves without direct contact. So understanding these principles is essential in the pharmacy because they are involved in the drying, sterilization, formulation development, storage, packing, and manufacturing of the pharmaceutical products. So thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our channel for more and more pharma topics.